Howdy there, my name's Alex, and I'm a huge fan of The Dragon Prince, which is why when I learned about Season 4 coming out, I was super excited. To the point where I bought a month of Netflix so I could watch it. And watching through it, I did enjoy it, but comparing it to the other seasons, it just wasn't as good. And I know a lot of people have made videos of pointing out all the flaws, but I think I have something to add to the conversation. The team made a lot of promises that these new seasons would fulfill. And again, it's the fourth season of the second arc, so it's going to need time to deliver on all those promises. So you got to keep that in mind. But they promised darker themes. Where the fourth season had some dark stuff in it. King Harrow died. It showed dead soldiers when Callum fell down the stairwell. It was pretty dark. There was like over 10 people died in like the third episode. Compare that to the fourth season of the second arc. You have like Ibis dies, which is sad. But it's like less dark than the fourth season. And they promise like darker, mature themes when it's kind of the same. But then they completely threw that out the window, and it would be like super serious over here, and then immediately throw in like a fart joke to care for like 7-year-olds. Like in the past seasons, they were really good at doing jokes that I enjoyed, and I believe 7-year-olds can enjoy, and even old people can enjoy. But in this season, they just kind of was like, oh yeah, this is super serious time. Oh, but this is also made for kids, so we need to do this really stupid joke over here. And they just did so much better in the other season, so I hope they can get back to that. The creators also went out saying that the first 3 seasons were practice. And that got me really excited, because like if that's practice, how good are these next few seasons going to be? But then the fourth season kind of fell through. And again, we still have two seasons in this arc, so hopefully it can just go uphill from here to here. And also, sadly, a lot of the characters just seem to get butchered. They seem to be a shadow of their former selves. Like, Callum is super good at magic, but he didn't really do anything in the season. Like, Rayla didn't have any like real fight scenes. But the main point I want to get to, Soren. He was like the best character on the season. But at the same time, they kind of really simplified his character. Like, he was the royal guard who wanted to protect the king, who wanted to make his dad proud. But then his father wants him to do something awful. And his inner struggle of, I want to make my dad happy, but I don't want to do this awful thing. And it all culminates when he gets paralyzed. And he basically makes the choice not to do the awful thing. And just his growth from being like this kind of douchebag to Callum to grow into someone who's willing to go against his father to do what is right. And then you have Rila, who's really brave and does whatever it takes to save people. And she was the funniest person. But in this season, she seems heartless because she leaves Callum for 3 years and then comes back and expects nothing to change. And she just can't wrap her head around why Callum is upset. And it should be kind of obvious. Another problem I had was it feels like all of the characters went backwards in intelligence. For instance, in the scene where Zimondius gets tied up and he's falling down to the ground and the dragon riders are chasing him, they're like feet away, and then Callum blows smoke, and all of a sudden they can't find Asmodeus. When they're trailing behind him, just follow his trajectory. It's like, it's right there. That plan should not have worked whatsoever. And I hated how they would just talked about it for like 30 seconds when in that 30 seconds Ozymandias would have been captured and he would have been gone. And I guess that was to move the story forward when it was already moving in a really slow pace. And it's like, guys, just use your brain. And they were really small in the previous seasons. They came up with plans and they executed plans. In season one, they were doing better than in season four. And like get it real left for a long time that kind of broke things up, but you guys are like 3 years older. You should have gained knowledge from this. And then Ezran is a similar thing. Like he should be kind of rated down with the responsibility of king, but he is acting like more of a kid than he was in the first 3 seasons. Or the final season. He's the same now as he was when he was like first started. Which again, everything is going backwards, which I get it's hard to write characters as they progress. Because once you get to some point, like the end of your full story, then they've improved so much, so it's hard to find like new things for them to improve on. But we're talking about the Dragon Prince writers. These guys are really good at writing in like details that you don't wouldn't think are important, but are important to the story. Like when Rayla's hair was cut off, or braid was cut off, and Soren used that to track them. Like 5 episodes later. Not five, like a few episodes later. These guys are good at writing. And not to mention these graphic novels, Through the Moon and the Blood Moon Hunters. Great writing and big changing plots that change the show. And that's a big problem that everyone's pointing out. It's not a lot of people aren't going to know that these exist, let alone read them. And Through the Moon explained why Rayla left in the first place. And without that context, you're just completely confused. Like, Rayla was gone for 3 years? What? But so I was able to read the graphic novel, so I kind of accepted that when I was watching the show. But a lot of people didn't have that. And it's frustrating at the same time because, again, they're going back to the beginning. And you hear from a ton of people that's hard writing relationships. Like, it's hard writing, like, marriages or people dating. It's a lot easier to do, oh, will they not, and then end when they get together. But again, these guys are good at writing, and even if it wasn't perfect, I would much rather the struggle through a growing relationship than starting all over again. And with the Blood Moon Huntress, it explains why Rayla left even more, because she has grown up in a society where how you show love to people is by leaving them to protect them from the danger. But what Callum grew up with is be by their side to protect them from that danger. And so that's the conflicting worldviews that kind of like separates them and leads to the separation. And when you have that knowledge, then that makes sense from a writing perspective, and it's actually a great story. But when you put that in a book that a lot of people aren't going to read, not everyone's going to be able to see that storytelling. And man, that is good, deep storytelling. But why? Why Wonderstorm? Why Wonderstorm? Why put it in a book? A few things I hope they do as they move forward is one, just tell better jokes and integrate them better in like less kiddish jokes. And two, have Raylan and Kellum actually talk about the elephant in the room, the fact that Raylan left for 2 or 3 years. I think I've been saying that wrong this whole video. Have them have a serious conversation about this. Because again, the relationships are a big part of the show. Have them dig at that and just reveal all the feelings that are trapped inside. Because there's, in Callum's world, there's going to be some big feelings when your girlfriend leaves for 2 years and she's back. And also, I just hope that they can breathe back these characters in their like fullest form, like how they were back in previous seasons, but yet older and wiser. Anyway, these have been my thoughts. Do you think I'm right, or do you think that this season was just as good as the other ones? Feel free to let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching, and this is Alex, and I'll see you next time.